Hi guys, today I'm doing my Artist Way week 2 reflections. Let's get into it. Okay, week 2 was recovering a sense of identity. How many days this week did you do your morning pages, you guys? I think I've been a bit lazy with the morning pages. I'm gonna do a little confessional. Okay, this week I have been a bit lazy with the Artist Way. I don't really know much about what I've done in terms of that, or in general in life. I honestly don't know what I've done the last 7 days. TBH, I think 3 times. Okay, that's not enough. The thing is, I feel like I've been a bit too relaxed with following the kind of guidelines with the Artist Way, because I am just like, yeah, I'm doing my own thing, but at the same time I need to at least apply some of it from the book, otherwise what's the point of it? I'm just very kind of intuitive when I make my choices in life, so I just didn't feel a need to write in my journal. Like, I generally just didn't know, like, my mind was not blank, honestly, but I feel like I just have so many long moments where I don't know, it feels a bit empty in there, like in a good way, you know. I'm just kind of wandering around and just, I don't know, I don't have a bunch of stuff that I feel the need to write about, because I've been kind of, a lot of times I talk to myself, or also this week I still been journaling a lot about my dreams, because I still have very vivid dreams. I talked about that last week, so I feel like that's almost enough for me. So I've been doing like dream journaling a lot, but it's not like morning pages that are more like a stream of consciousness, you know. How do I feel about that? I don't know. Maybe I should challenge myself to be like, okay, next week we're doing it. It's not that hard, Julie. I can write very fast. So it should not be that hard. Like, let's fucking go. Did I do the artist date this week? Yes, I did. I did a shoot with myself and I had a very fun time. It was super unserious in a way, and I really loved that type of art. I think when it comes to photography or like music videos, musicians, and just artists in general that I think are so cool are the ones that are a bit like divas and kind of funny in that way and not so serious. Like, they're just like using humor, and so that's kind of what my shoot was about. And last week I said I wanted to do an editorial. This shoot was not that much of an editorial because I wasn't dressed up that much or anything too crazy, but it was closer to what I do before. I really do like some more kind of, I don't know, naturistic, a bit fairy tale vibe shoots as well, for sure. But I think I really also love pop culture elements and stuff like that. So it was really fun to do that. I only did that one thing, and I honestly did have time for more, but I have no excuse. Also, I don't remember what I did last week, so like, what are we supposed to do? I actually do remember what I did last week. I was prepping for an interview for university. Oh my god! The last question is, were there any other the last question is, oh my god. I think that symbolized it all. I think last week I was very distracted. Like, my focus has not been so good last week as it has been the week before, and I really don't mind it. You know, you cannot be like laser focused every week, because sometimes you also need to be more in kind of a relaxed mode so you can receive kind of new pulls of what to do, you know. So I did not really have an intention for this week, but my intention at the moment in general is just to be as relaxed mentally as possible. I just believe that that's the best place to be with your mind, you know, just like, you know, more in like a zen type of mentality, and that I have been doing. But, you know, sometimes I get a bit worried when I am too relaxed mentally, because I'm like, what do I even do? I don't even remember now in my check-in. But now that I'm talking and I'm like starting to catch up, I actually made a huge decision this week that is life-changing. Well, I can say it like quick because I don't think it matters. So I wanted to start going to university again after I graduated my last uni, and I was trying to go to a German university, so I was learning German. I speak German to the point where I can understand, get by, it's okay. but not university level. And I wanted to still live in Germany, but to go to university in Germany in a German course, of course, I needed to learn German. So I spent a whole 8 months or something learning German very intensely. Then I just kind of gave up on applying for university there because it was a bit too much. It was just too much of a struggle to learn fucking German at a university level. Half a year passed and I was very unhappy in Berlin and I was thinking of moving to Copenhagen. And so I applied for university. In Denmark, the way you apply to university is you don't get in multiple places and then choose. You make priority 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then if you don't get into priority 1, you get into priority 2. If you don't get into there, you get into priority 3, etc. So I was very adamant of going and studying art history. So I was applying for that. I didn't get in because they don't take in that many people and my grades were not good enough. But I went through a whole process of interviews and tests and stuff like that, and I ended up getting into history. That was last year. I basically dropped out right away because I didn't want to study history. So fast forward another half year, because that was in the summer I got to know that. I decided I want to go back to university, actually. I'm gonna try art history again. And then I'm gonna try history as my second priority and then other things as well. I went through all of it, the tests, the interviews. Last week was my interviews. I decided I actually would prefer to study history. So I went all of this, 3 years of kind of wanting to do art history and it just not working out. Last minute, turns out my heart has always been with history, okay? I'm just more interested in history on a broader spectrum than just art history specifically. So long story short, I decided I wanted to study history. I am grateful for these last 3 years and I'm grateful for thinking I wanted something different. I also wasn't so serious about university until this year. I wasn't ready last year, and I wasn't ready the year before either. And this is the kind of thing, it's so interesting to kind of get to a point finally where you just feel now it is. Now is the time and I have made my decision. And give yourself some grace to not have to make a decision quick, because thank God I didn't get into art history, you know what I mean? Because I've always been a history nerd. Those have been my two passions. Arts, performing, creating, and then history. Always, since I was a kid. Is that not what all psychologists say? Know what you want to do in life, look at what you enjoyed as a kid, do that and you'll be happy, Oh my god, I just had to rescue my cat because it started raining and I saw her running. Okay. That's very fun. That's probably one of the highlights from last week is just realizing, wait, this is what I want to do. And it does feel kind of funny to me as well because I was so determined on art history. I don't know. I mean, I could talk about that for hours. Why? Because I had a lot of reasons, but ultimately, it was like a light bulb moment. And I was at the interview. It was a written interview, but they were recording me at the same time and my screen and stuff to make sure I'm not cheating and whatever. So I don't know if anyone was watching, but I was saying to the camera, don't let me in here. I don't want to go here. And it feels so crazy, the last few weeks when I've been home with my parents, because unexpectedly I moved out of a long-term rental, very unexpectedly and very rushed and stuff. The last 2 weeks where I've kind of been getting back grounded and stuff, I made so many decisions and really concluded what I want to do with my future kind of, and I think I'm feeling so relieved, so step in the right direction. And I just already feel like I've taken 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 steps the last few weeks and I've not technically done much. I just been here and I mean I've done the university stuff, I've done that's it, but I have a plan now, and that is for the first time in a while. For the first time since I graduated my first university, I have a concrete plan and I have concrete goals. I think partly why I was so floating for so long after university was that I didn't have any specific things that I decided I wanted to do. And I think it always comes down to making a decision. Like, decide this is what I want to do. And that's it. If I decide I want to do something, there's nothing holding me back ever in my life. Never. Anytime I wanted something and I knew in my heart this is what I wanted, I was gonna get it. But anytime I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it keeps being wishy-washy, and I keep kind of being in a waiting position, because it's not that I'm waiting for things to come to me, it's that I am waiting for myself to make a decision ultimately, because that's what it comes down to, you know? You're just like one decision away from changing your whole life. And I understand like being indecisive. I was indecisive for a while, and I don't regret it, because I also have jumped into things very quick without thinking or feeling within myself like, does this feel right? That's also not always the right choice. But you live and you learn, and I don't know, like it doesn't, like there's no right or wrong way to be a human being, you know what I mean? So I feel in my body, in my soul, in my bones that I'm on the right track. And I think if you feel like this is it, and not like a sense of doom, I feel like that's, I don't know, it's so hard to explain, but it's a feeling. Like, you know, when you know, you know. And obviously when you decide on something, it doesn't mean, oh, that's my life now forever, but it feels right for now, like really right. I'm just so excited for my future. I think it's gonna be amazing. And I'm also loving my present life, even though it's really chaotic, even though all my furniture is in a storage room, and I'm going back to Berlin, and I have like a 1 month sublet situation going on, and that's it. And I don't know with my work, I mean, I'm about to quit it as well, and I might be going to university in a different country, and you know, it's like, it's a lot of things that are changing, and practical stuff that has to be sorted out and stuff. But I'm honestly just so happy. I honestly cannot tell you a time that I felt this amount of peace, despite the fact that so many things are not sorted out yet. I feel incredible. And who knows if it's because I decided to go on this journey. Who knows if it's because of this book. No, I think it's just that, you know, I picked up this book at the right time. But, you know, I also have not taken it so serious. I really want to take it more serious going forward to the next week, because the theme is recovering a sense of power. And that's literally all I've been doing, is just stepping into my power. And that's what I already talked about week 1. And let's keep doing it. So I'm excited to see what I'm going to be doing to step into it. And yeah.